Hey, so it turns out Coach Gibbs introduced me, so I don't have to do that, which I'm glad because we've got a lot to cover in about 35, 40 minutes. And I think it's kind of appropriate given what Coach just talked to you about is we know each other and there's a lot of love involved in that, in our story and our journey together. So I think it's kind of appropriate that we're talking about love languages today. But yeah, my name is Jana and you can call me that. I do have a PhD in leadership from the University of Florida. These are all the different places I have worked in some capacity. I played at Davidson. I am older than Steph Curry. I am a professor here at Clemson now in athletic leadership, but the coolest part about me are my boys. This is Nehemiah and Lincoln. They're 5 and 2. I am sitting here talking to you, and I'm only imagining, I hope my face is not like giant, whatever you're looking at right now. But guys, what we're going to be doing today is you've taken the love language assessment. We're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to discover our love languages and apply them to the room. And then we're going to learn about each other. Y'all are going to be doing a lot of talking. I'm not going to be talking at you for the next 40 minutes. I know this is a new group. You haven't even been together for a week, right? So I might need someone to be a spokesperson and come up closer to the mic if that's the way that the room is set up, but we're going to figure it out together. Y'all are going to be getting in different groups and interacting with each other and talking. All right. So 5 love languages. This is a little bit of an overview. Is this everyone's first time taking this? Has anybody ever taken it before or heard of it before? You've taken it before?
Yes. Yeah.
Did you get the same results? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. I love that. Why did you take it the first time?
Coaches. I just heard about it.
So out of curiosity?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I love that. I love people who are curious to learn about themselves. So what is a love language? It's the way that you express and experience love. Okay. It's discovered by observing the way others give love, considering what annoys them, considering what they request most often from you. Like, what are people asking from you? That's probably how they receive love from you. Everyone has one primary and one secondary. So today we'll be working with your top 2. All right. And then people tend to offer and extend love the same way they like to receive it. I'll just go ahead and say this. Receiving gifts. Who are my people who had receiving gifts? Thank you. I love you standing up in the back, proud. That's one of my top 2. You're not materialistic. I think a lot of people mistake us for that. Growing up for me, my dad traveled a lot for work and he used to bring little trinkets home with him, right? Like a little souvenir, and that I think kind of embedded gifts for me. And so I don't consider that being like, I just like things. A gift could also be a meal that someone has prepared, right? So I just kind of wanted to make that disclaimer right fast. But you'll also know that receiving gifts, whoever just stood up, the people that raise their hands, they're probably also really good gift givers. So you might want to be their friends. So just think about that. I do believe that your love languages can change over time. I know for me, as I've become a parent, acts of service has definitely jumped up in the top 2 for me. Rather than words of affirmation. And the 5 languages, y'all watch the videos? Coach said y'all just watched them. Yes. Somebody tell me, what did you see in the videos? What were the little figures doing? Somebody tell me about what they saw maybe in what one of their top 2 videos.
In words of affirmation, it was like the other blobs were trying to give this blob like gifts or something. Oh yeah, he received flowers before he was going to like play his violin, and it didn't like encourage him until his mom sent him a text message that said like, I heart you, and then like you're gonna do great, and then he got all glowy and felt good.
Okay, so we're gonna call them blobs. I picked up on that. And so yeah, the blob started to glow. What do you think that glow is representing?
They were happy. Felt loved.
Happy, loved. What else?
Fulfilled.
Okay. So the blob was about to go, I think it was a violin recital maybe or something. What else do you think that helped the blob with getting that text? Confidence, readiness, right? Okay. Yeah. So that glow can represent a whole bunch of different things. Anybody else in your love language? What did you see? We have words of affirmation, which was a big one for this group. Quality time was another big one. Anybody notice anything in the quality time video?
For quality of time, yeah, one of the blobs was like sad sitting under a tree, and the other one like just got out of a car, looked like they got back from like a trip or something, and they like went over and tried to give them like a gift and like, you know, tried some of the other love languages, and none of them worked until they just kind of like sat down next to the other blob and like just started talking to them, and like, you know, then the other blob got glowing.
The other blob got glowed. Yeah. So, I mean, that first blob that came in out of the car, like it was trying really hard, right? To like find a way to connect. And then when they put all the stuff away, all the music, all the stuffed animals, all the phones, then they connected, right? So like you have the one blob that's glowing, but how do you think the other blob, the other one that was trying to connect with that blob felt once they finally figured it out? Successful. There are no wrong answers, guys. I told you you're gonna have to talk. What else? How do you feel? How do you feel when you find that click in a connection with somebody?
I feel closer to them, I guess you could say.
Closer to them, successful. Absolutely. What else?
Relieved.
Relieved. Yep. Anything else? Like helpful? Yeah. Helpful. Like you're helping them or empowering them, right? Okay. Any other comments on the videos? I just wanted y'all to watch those just to kind of see, you know, you can read about stuff and you can take the assessment, but those kind of are little quick hitters to put it into action. Any other thoughts on the videos?
I think it kind of made people like, it brought them back to the present, I guess. So like the acts of service, like she was just so busy picking things up. She wasn't really focusing on anything else. And then she was kind of like grounded, I guess, once he helped her. Or the what was the other one? There was another one, and no, the man that was reading, it was physical touch. He was so busy reading, and then once his woman touched her or whatever, he kind of like was like glowy. Yeah, he was glowy, but like he was just like he wasn't so focused on the paper. He kind of like calmed down. I don't know, because he was doing so many things, I guess. Kind of.
Yeah. So when the two non-binary blobs touched, right? Yeah, I think that's a great point. I mean, like, I think when we talk about connection, when we talk about love, and that's kind of where we're going with this, like we're using love languages to kind of help you guys get to know each other and start building some really meaningful connections. I think that's a tremendous point. Like you think about the mom that is a crazy person running around. I mean, y'all are kind of crazy people as student athletes, right? With the schedules that you lead, like your time is just zapped and accounted for. But as soon as someone does that little thing, whether it's give you a hug, whether it's drop you a text, whether it's just like your favorite candy bar in your locker, like a little gift, like, doesn't that just help you snap into the present moment right away and just be where you are? It kind of, it grounds you. I love that language. I think it calms you. I think it recenters you. I think it kind of helps you just take a step back and remember like, oh yeah, this is why I'm doing all of this. This is why this all started, right? I think that's a tremendous point. So we're going to talk a little bit in some groups. A coach said that you guys have, I love this quote from Phil Jackson, love is a force that ignites the spirit and binds teams together. I love that it's Phil Jackson who has so many rings and he's talking about love with his men, right? With his athletes. Does everybody have their love languages together? They know what your top, what your top two are?
Yes.
And you also have the handout?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So here's what I want to first question, and we can do this as a big group. What was your reaction to taking the assessment, like the questions they were asking. I know probably some of them were like, what kind of love are we talking about? But like, how were you feeling as you were taking them? Like, why are we doing this? What's love?
For me, I was like reading the questions and I was like, what kind of questions are these? Like, they're kind of weird. But then I like, I realized like going through, like before I even got my results, I was like, oh, like it's probably, my top one's probably going to be this, because like answering those questions, it like made me realize that, I value some like quality time over like words of affirmation. So like, it kind of was more of like,
Validation.
yeah, validation of like what I think is like most important or what helps me the most.
Okay, so it helped affirm some things for you. Was anyone surprised by their results?
No.
Okay, awesome. That's what I like to hear. So get in your groups based on your number one. Can y'all do that, please?
Quality time.
Who had extra service?
I'm by myself.
Here, I can wait for you working.
To a chair and just slide on the side.
Stand, just stand.
Come over here.
What'd you say?
They can just stand. They, as long as they can,
So you guys
as long
can
as they can
stand
hear
together.
me.
Oh, we can stand.
Where's words of affirmation?
Right here. Our coach is.
Yes.
Physical touch.
Sorry.
It's all good.
So three. What was your first one?
Quality time.
Let it give you hugs.
All right. I'm gonna give you, you have some questions there under number one, your love languages. So you're gonna kind of be multitasking with this. I want y'all to discuss the questions in your group, but also jot down a few things as you're discussing, okay? So you have 3 questions of, we've already kind of talked, what's your reaction? Were you surprised, not surprised? Anything else like that? How would you describe them in your own words? And then how do you see yourself using them? So like think about maybe just the last week of your life. How have you been putting those love languages into action? So just take like 3 minutes in your group and talk through those things and jot a couple things down.
Just joking. All right, so you guys got it.
Wait, are you writing this?
Well, I'll put down my top 2 on the sheet.
What's y'all's top 2? Like words of affirmation and what?
Acts of service.
Oh,
The same order.
Oh, what's your second one?
Quality time.
That's mine. Mine's physical touch.
Yours was quality time, physical touch.
Yeah, they're opposite.
Yeah.
Like active service.
But I think for me,
What was y'all's reaction?
Like the mother.
I mean, I got 3 years.
Like I kind of like.
Like I literally like.
Was like, oh, like you're
I
like,
was
affirmation,
like,
but I didn't
getting
think
away, like.
So what did we talk about words of affirmation? What is that? What is that? How would we describe that?
I would say like hearing something and then
Just
like
responsibility.
just knowing like someone else appreciates or like seeing like your worth, I guess you should say.
Who's gonna write it? Who's gonna write it?
The same way.
You gonna do it?
Damn, hold on myself.
Hearing.
Like confirmation that you're
Encourage.
doing
From others.
Like what's something that you like really
Yeah.
enjoy? Or something like my quality time, like it's about my roommate, like we're best friends.
It kind of
Like
like about who you are as a
like
person.
she's
Yeah,
it's
it's
about
about
so like your work, like everything.
That's a confirmation.
We just started watching the show together, so like for me, that's like a part of my quality time. That's really just like we don't even have to be talking. We're just like sitting together, like we can just be on our phones. But that's like this part of my love language.
It makes you feel
And that's something like I enjoy doing. So like for me, like that, I would like something
I
that's
just
not
sound
like
like
just a couple like sitting.
Yeah, like
something they would be doing. Yeah, or like when you're on FaceTime with someone, you're just like, you're not even talking, like you're both doing your own thing. Yeah.
That helped me.
I saw one last time and I thought it was like those things. So it's
How do you see yourself? It's like.
Words of affirmation. That's how he was
Like,
loving me.
Like, how do you do it? Like, how do you do it?
But while we're spending quality time, we're very good at doing this. That's like feeling like be doing stuff for each other.
Just giving them a compliment.
1 more minute.
Being very supportive and
And I found something
encouraging.
interesting.
I think like Yeah.
I saw somewhere like.
We write down our examples.
Topics of language, how you
Is that what it says?
Just right in how you see us, how we see ourselves.
And
then like, well, we all have different talks.
But I think she said just focus on, we got groups on the first one.
Okay, I mean, maybe for like their kids, just like spend like silver, you know, that champagne, whatever.
I said like on the court, just saying like good shot, like good job, good pass.
When I'm
that,
sad,
beat up on the way, or things like that.
yeah, that's what's going on.
How I would see myself using it in basketball.
Oh, that's really. You
It's
just
about
play.
everyday life
Yeah.
situation.
Everyday life, giving out
So how do you put that?
Okay, I know you could probably, I know you probably could use more time, but we just don't have it, but you have the worksheets that you can use later on. So what I'd like to do from each group, that B question of how would you describe your love language in your own words, I'd like for one person from each group to share based on your number one. So your own definition for number one love language. So if you're in the quality time group, I want to hear your definition for quality time.
Okay, we had quality time.
Okay.
And we kind of explained it as like just being in someone else's presence. So like we don't even have to be like talking or like doing anything. Like we could just like sit down and watch a movie, or like just sit like in the same room and just like be on our phones, or like sit together and do homework. Like it really, like you don't have to be like actively doing something or actively talking. It's more so just like someone else's presence.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think a lot of times we think about connection. It's kind of like, oh my gosh, I got to take her to coffee. We got to go to lunch. I've got to like make her cry and learn her story. And that's really not how connection's built. It's just like the little increments over time, right? Of just being with each other, being around each other, and making a commitment to that, right? Of being in the room. So I think that's great. Next.
Oh, wait, can I add something real quick?
Always.
So what I was talking about is sort of how our top love language is how we like self-sabotage ourselves. So like ours is obviously quality time, right? So what I realize is like when I'm like self-sabotaging or something, I'm procrastinating. I'm not spending my time well, I'm doing whatever. Or like for, let's say someone's love language is like receiving gifts, spending gifts, you know, their self-sabotage would be like retail therapy. Like they're just buying stuff to make them feel better. So that's what we were talking about, how your love language can like adversely hurt you.
Yeah, and procrastination could definitely work against you if your love language is quality time. I could see how it would happen, right? You're going to choose to do all the fun things and not do the things you need to do. But then when it's that crunch time to do the thing you need to do and everybody else is doing something else you want to do, then that's kind of backfired on you, right?
Or like people with like words of affirmation, like they're really hard on themselves and they get in their head a lot.
Yep, the internal dialogue's probably really negative, which is why they need the positive from the external. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. So words of affirmation, since we kind of went there, what's your, in your own words, definition?
Okay, so we decided that words of affirmation is basically hearing from others about your worth. Not only like builds your confidence, but it makes you feel appreciated as like a person and everything you're doing. And overall, it just makes you like feel good about yourself.
Yeah, you feel fully seen, right?
Mm.
Yeah, you feel acknowledged. Yeah. Yep. I love that. All right, who's next? Acts of service. Anybody?
Yeah, me and all the coaches were active service. So basically we were just saying that like it's mainly based on, like for me, it was mainly based on like responsibilities and making sure like you're on top of stuff. And then also like to give yourself a break if you're like rushing around and stuff and someone else does a task for you. So you're like, it gives you relief that you don't have to do it anymore. So yeah. But like what Lyric was talking about, like, because when I get stressed out, I start cleaning everything. And like Coach I was saying that she does it too. So I think that's really funny.
I started cleaning a closet before I got on this Zoom, so I totally get it. I also know there's no better feeling than waking up and the dishes and the kitchen's clean because my wife has done it. So Gibbs, I did notice all your assistants have number 1 acts of service. So good luck with that. Okay. What do we got? Receiving gifts. I don't think did anybody have that as number 1? I think we had a couple number 2s.
It was number 2. We got what you got. Wait.
Physical touch.
Physical
Yep,
touch.
yep, physical touch. Where you at?
I guess I could describe physical touch for me at least with like what I said earlier in terms of like being grounded, because I find myself just being like so frigidy, I guess. And if someone were to just be like, breathe, you're good, I feel like that would just calm me down. But I'm kind of like back and forth with my 1 and 2, because like I don't really like to be touched. I guess it's more so like romantically, I guess. I feel like the quality time has to get to the physical. But anyways, yeah. I had a hard time describing it.
Hey, they're your love languages. You can do whatever you want with them.
What'd you say?
I said they're your love languages. You can do whatever you want with them. So I do think like there is proof, and Gibbs can probably talk about this. There is like studies on the power of touch, like in practices of the number of high fives you give or pats on the backs or, whatever you want to do, chest bumps, handshakes. Like there's a correlation to like the number of times that you have physical touch with someone and your performance. Like that has been studied. And it's something even, so my wife's the head coach at Clemson, they track that in every practice. And oftentimes that player that has had the most touches has also had a very good practice. So there's something to be said, like you being solely the person number 1, like that's important. And also, yeah, I totally get like just self-tapping kind of thing, like just is really very, very grounding. So I love that you have picked up on that for you. We are going to move on. And I know that we're kind of flying through these things, but you're going to have a ton of stuff to debrief after this. Get in groups of with your number 2, your secondary love language. Go ahead and get in those groups.
Physical touch.
Quality time.
How many?
Oh, you can What's yours? What's the second one right now? Yeah. Words of affirmation. Word physical touch. No, wait. Oh, let's go.
You also do that?
Oh, your words are different.
Word quality.
Physical back there.
Over there.
Okay. So looking up at this slide, this is if I took everyone's number 1 and number 2, and I did some old school fractions, and I got these percentages. So if you're looking at this pie graph, what does this tell you is important to this team? So okay, that's important. So what does that mean? So like to me, it means your practices should be really, really loud. If they're quiet, something's going on. No, everyone's not focused, off day, whatever it is. Words of affirmation, your locker room should be loud. Your practices should be loud. Your bus ride should be loud, right? That's what I hear. There should be lots of conversation all the time. The other thing is quality time. Is if there's a commitment, like the team is doing this is not something that the coaches have mandated. Y'all are going to go on a hike. Y'all are going to go to a movie. You're going to just go over and watch Netflix, whatever it is, right? Make cookies, whatever it is, putt. It's set. Y'all have done it. If someone doesn't show up, you are breaking trust. You are breaking what's important to the team, right? Because what we're saying is quality time, words of affirmation, most important, most present, right? Any thoughts on that? Any other examples of maybe kind of if I give you those 2 examples of maybe what I'm looking for, like what does this tell you is important to the team? What information does it give you?
I think acknowledgement in the words of affirmation. So being able to pour into each other and motivate each other with our words. So whether you're in practice and it's a good job, it's a good pass, it's a keep your head up. So having those types of conversations to just kind of help build that confidence or help someone pick it back up once it starts to go down.
Okay, I love that. What else?
I think that the words that come out of your mouth, like even if you're going through it, have to be positive. Like to put the team first. Like I think that shows that that's a big thing. And then just like understanding that everyone's gonna have off days, but if we all stay positive and put the team first, then it's gonna like overall just help the team succeed.
Okay, so we're gonna look at that second set of questions in those groups of your secondary love language. Here's what I want you to think about though, and this is just, I'm doing an audible here. I know I have a team heavy in our love languages gives us the advantage, and our unique love languages, like receiving gifts, like physical touch, which aren't as prevalent with the team, offers us uniqueness. How, right? I also want you to think about, what about when it's hard? Like, what about when you don't want to be positive? What about when you don't want to go to the team thing? What about when you need to have the hard conversation that maybe the words of affirmation aren't the easiest thing to get through, right? So I also kind of want you to talk about that in this next 3 or 4 minutes. Okay, go for it.
So quality time, what is heavy in our I think that the quality time is very important.
Just in our, no, ours, for team heavy in our love language, which is our second one is what we're talking about right now, which is acts of service.
So at least for me, I don't care about
How do we have an advantage?
And I'm the other person. So at least I'll know.
Care more
why
about
I
other
go.
people.
I don't know, I appreciate
Are we
that.
eliminating that?
Even if it's for like little stuff at school.
It builds trust and reliability. Because you're always doing stuff. So
what their like tendencies are, like what they have, so like you understand, you're like, okay, like I should show this person that way. Yeah, I say like I'm gonna go and talk to them. You just kind of like feel it out. That work connected. But I was still with like support habits and social.
Or like if you know.
I mean, kind of building a trust in that.
Right.
Or it's that ask.
Right.
It's not for this.
support.
Yeah, and I don't really open up to that, right? They say like they don't want that situation. I'll probably come back. They don't want to always
Yes. So I guess the advantage of
And
it.
a lot of that has to do with the trust. And who you join yourself
We already
with,
experienced
with personal
I think we already
relationship.
experienced
This is literally a conversation.
But then like when you don't want to, or like
All right, bring it back in.
Yeah.
I just got the 10-minute notification. So if you feel really good about something your group discussed, I'd like to hear it from you on any of those questions in that.
I feel like if they should.
Right, but
Did any group have any really good insight on how to use these in a hard time?
With quality time, we said that like if we got to know the person like on a deeper level, we would have like more respect for them and like know how to treat them or like handle them on or off the court. Like we would just know like their tendencies and their triggers and like how to handle the situation if we spent quality time with the person.
Okay. So the more you know somebody, the more effective you can be in a difficult time.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else?
Our words of affirmation, we kind of talked about like in basketball terms, like say someone's having a bad day and it's more like it's personal or like in their personal lives, or like, you know, someone just can't make a shot, just acknowledging the fact like what's happening, like say like Cece was saying, like her coming up to me like, hey, I know like you have something personal going on, but you know, you need to pick it up, and like just acknowledging the fact that something's going on, but you have this time to kind of like not forget about it, but you just have the time to like relieve that stress, because basketball is something we all love. And it's kind of like, well, for me, it's like a stress reliever. So like just like acknowledging it, and then like realizing that you have time to get better after you like talk to someone or it's been addressed.
Yeah, I think basketball is a great time to just be away, right? Be away from everything that isn't the game. So I think that's great perspective. We're going to fast forward a little bit here because I want you guys to talk, and coaches, I want you to be in your own group, and everyone else, if you could just get yourself in a random group, try to mix it up, maybe groups of 3. And we're going to do just a quick little competition here. Okay. So go ahead and do that.
Larry, you want to be over here? Yeah, I haven't been with you. It could be me, you, and Rue. Have you been with Rue? Okay. Yeah, I've been with Rue. Okay. I haven't been together.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to give you 1 minute to discover as many things as you can that you all have in common in your little groups. So a list of all the things that every person in the group shares.
What kind of income, like that?
Like everybody's wearing sneakers, or everybody's wearing slides, or everybody's wearing, you know, or color of your eyes, or any of those things. All the things that you're saying. You have a sibling, you have a pet. Those are some examples. 1 minute. Are you ready? Somebody needs to keep a tally mark. There'll be a winner.
It's situational. That's so
Ready? Go.
I like the legs. The beads.
Melbourne or Hardbone?
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Tattoos or piercings?
Damn. Piercings.
Come on, y'all. English or
10.
Yes.
All right, stop.
Outside.
Stop.
That's good.
All right, did anybody get 10?
Oh, wait.
We're counting. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We got 10. What? We got 16.
16. Did anybody beat 16?
Oh,
All right, group of 16. What do you think your best one was?
Oh, we have a lot. We all, yeah, I mean, we all like music, and like we all like a variety of music.
Yeah.
So it's not like one specific category or genre.
Okay. All right. Well, so here's what I think connection is. Hang on. Why is this being? So connection, right? We're kind of skipping ahead a little bit, but I think we've kind of talked about it enough that it makes sense. Like building connection starts with who's in the room. Y'all are all in this room together. It starts with you, the players, the coaches, all the things you have in common, all the things you don't, right? It starts right here. You're doing it. You're going to keep doing it. It also goes beyond what's in the room. And what I mean by that is it goes to your past experiences, to your life. What have you brought into this room as the individuals that you are? What has been your relationship with trust? What has been your relationship with preparation? What has been your relationship with love and connection? You're all bringing all of this different kind of life, different cultures, different heritages, all into this space, right? So it starts with who you are. It goes beyond what's in the room, but it also, and here's the most important part, makes being in this room the most important thing. Hopefully on your list of things that you listed as the same was you all chose to be at UNF right now. That's something you all have in common. And when it gets really hard, it has to be the most important thing, that you all share that and have it in common. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Did anyone put it in their list?
We
Basketball.
basketball.
Okay, all right, it's a start. I just had to ask just to see. All right, so here's where we're going with this. I'm gonna talk, I have 2.5 minutes, real fast. 3 components of connection. Starts with belonging. Y'all are working on that. We're getting to know each other. We're figuring out the space that we're creating, how we belong in that space. And then it ends in kind of this idea of safety. We'll spend more time talking about that. But how do you feel in that space once you've created it, once you belong there? Here's your role. Your role is willingness. And I'll tell you why. It's the key component. It serves as a bridge. It communicates 3 things. It tells everyone how ready you are. Okay, it tells everyone how eager you are, your enthusiasm, your excitement. It tells everyone how prepared you are. Yes, preparation and readiness are 2 different things. Preparation is the work that you've done to get to the point. Readiness is how ready you are in that moment to do what you need to do. Okay, willingness talks about all 3 of those. Willingness also, to me, is another way that you show love. Willingness is about someone has extended themselves. Someone is asking you to try something different, something new, to experiment. And you do your part by being willing to meet them where they are, by doing the new thing, by taking a risk, by maybe trying a new drill, right? Or eating something different you never had before. That's willingness. So what I want you to do as we close, and I'm going to sign off here in a minute, but Coach, I want y'all to write your willingness statement, thinking about your love languages, thinking about maybe where you struggle in those 3 categories of readiness, eagerness, preparation. The last thing on that handout says, I will be willing for my team by what? I will be willing by doing this, right? However, in your own words, I kind of just tried to help you get started. All right. And then I want everybody to go around and share that. And then we'll have some follow-up. But I'm going to sign off. This is my info. If anybody needs anything, Derek, I'm going to send you this QR code. I've tried to be more intentional about receiving feedback from people. So this is a quick little survey. I'd love to hear you share what you thought. Thank y'all so much. And hopefully this is not the last time we'll be seeing each other. I'm sorry this is short. It won't be next time.
Thank
Good?
you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.